Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother, I am Noah Allah from Germany, Chicago, and come back with you with another lesson, alright? Going to sound the alarm right here, and I was just looking at some news, and things about to change. All right, things about to really take a major turn for this world. All right, and all hell is getting ready to break loose. All right, the majority of these people really just don't see what's coming, and what's happening right now. All right, a police state is being built up right now, right before your eyes. All right, martial law is right around the corner, and why I say this? Well, if you're paying attention to the news, all right, you're really paying attention to the news, you can very well see that, you know, shit can get chaotic in the next month. All right, but nonetheless, I'm going to first go into this DOD Directive 5240.01. All right, DOD intelligence and intelligence-related activities and defense intelligence component assistance to law reinforcement agencies and to other civil authorities. And yeah, you know, this was, signed, this was in effect of September the 27th of 2024. All right. And it says originating component office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, and it's no longer called the Secretary of Defense. It's called the Secretary of War. All right. Table of contacts, go down to levels of authority 3.3. Same thing, the date, levels of authority. You just read that at the top, all right? But basically, it just says a federal department agency include a federal law enforcement agency or a state or local law enforcement agency when lives are in danger in response to requests for such assistance in accordance with the following approval authorities. DOD, response to chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and high-yield explosive incidents. Assistance in responding with assets potential for lethality or and in which it is reasonable or foreseeable that the providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death. You heard that right? It says, basically, these are law enforcement, all right, that are getting deployed right now all around America, especially what's going on right now in them airports, all right? Because, hey, we're in a government shutdown, and right now TSA workers are not getting paid. Federal workers are probably not getting paid either, all right? Even goes same thing for, like, Homeland Security, all right? They're probably not getting paid either, all right? Currently right now. And you can see that America's economy is failing, all right? The dollar is losing its value by the day. And really, the elites set up to be that way, all right? To ultimately accomplish the New World Order agenda to implement the RFID CHIP, all right? Which will be implemented globally. All right, it's going to be made mandatory. All right. But hey, we understand what happens if you take that chip, you take that implantable device underneath your skin. The Lord, you take that chip, the Lord is going to destroy you. All right. And what Esau is trying to do, all right, he's trying to track and trace, all right, by the way of using and implementing a RFID microchip underneath your skin, But right now, all right, the infrastructure for it is all set. All right. Esau has his martial law troops prepared, basically. All right, basically America is being made as a police state right before your very eyes. All right. And hey, shit's about to get hectic. But it says levels of authority, these levels of authority, it says assistance in responding with assets of potential lethality or in which it is reasonable foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situation where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individual groups is reasonably anticipated, such as use of force must be in accordance with DoD, potentially as further restricted based on specifics of the requested support. So basically, during the time of chaos, all right, when all hell breaks loose, all right, when these people have nothing else to lose, they lose it, all right, because what Esau is planning to do, all right, he's about to pull off a cyber attack, all right, on America's infrastructure. Basically, all right, he might attack the banks. He might, he's very well going to target the banks, all right? Because, hey, Esau has to destroy this economy first before he has to implement the RFID microchip, all right? And, hey, top of that, they're going to cut off the lights, all right? They're going to cut off the lights for a period of time. They're going to let people run around, kill each other, all right? And that's the time that we're coming into, the time of Jacob's trouble, all right? I'll get a scripture real quick. And hey, most of the hopeful elect are, we're set up, to give you this word and warn you of the things to come. That's what a prophet does, to prophesy unto you the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, bidding you to the marriage. All right. But this is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And a prudent man is wise. A prudent man is cautious. All right. They foresee the evil. All right. They see the evil ahead of time. All right. And those are the ones who are taking heed unto this word. All right. Those are the ones that are trying to the best of our ability to align themselves in the ways of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, getting right with Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability before it's too late. And how do we do that? By the washing of this word. And hey, this word is a purifier. All right, this word cures us, basically. All right, this word is likened unto living waters. All right, and this word is our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, and without this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, if you don't have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in the scriptures, all right, you're not going to be covered in the day of Jacob's trouble. All right. But it says, the prudent man foreseeth the evil and the hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And hey, that's the rest of these people. All right. The simple pass on and are punished. 2/3 of our people are about to perish. All right. 2/3 of our people have no idea what the hell is going on. They don't know the true power. All right. They don't know who they are. Or, of course, actually, they all heard the warning. All right. They all have received this warning, all right, because the word has been prophesied onto the four corners of the earth. And now you receive that ahead of time, all right, if you're paying attention, all right, the chaos is right around the corner, all right. So, hey, everybody has been marked with this word. All right. All right. Everybody, majority of our people already know that they are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of, but they don't want to live a Hebrew Israelite lifestyle. So they're likened unto beasts. All right. Wild beasts. Stubborn. All right. And hey, that's why the Lord is going to destroy them because of their rebellion, because of the rebelliousness, all right, because of their iniquities. It says, by humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. And yeah, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs 9 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. And hey, by doing the Lord's will, all right, going out there in the highways and byways doing these lessons, all right, that shows that we fear Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. But says by humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. And hey, we have no continuing city on this side, all right, because we understand through the scriptures that, hey, America's through, all right. This is the true riches that we have right here. This word is basically everything that we need. But nonetheless, all right, just sounding the alarm. But let me show you some other. And hey, this worldwide caution security alert. All right, it was issued not too long ago. All right. So it says the Department of State advises Americans worldwide to exercise increased caution. Location worldwide. All right. U.S. Department of State issues security alert urging Americans. Basically, event. The Department of State advises Americans worldwide and especially in the Middle East to exercise increased caution. Americans abroad should follow the guidance and security alerts issued by the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate. Periodic airspace closures may cause travel disruptions. U.S. diplomatic facilities, including outside the Middle East, have been targeted. Groups supportive of Iran may target other U.S. interests overseas, locations associated with the United States and or Americans throughout the world. But if you really pay attention, it says groups of support of Iran may target other U.S. interests overseas. So basically here in America. All right. So basically, all right, they're giving you a heads up. Some shit deletes. All hell is getting ready to break loose. And let me show you some Trump strike Iran. And basically, not too long ago, Trump basically was telling Iran, all right, to open up the Strait of Hormuz, or else, they're going to strike Iran big times. All right. And you can see live updates. Trump says he's postponing attacks on Iran power plants, citing productive talks to end war. Iran said the reversal was designed to lower energy prices, and by time for Trump's military plans, Trump had threatened to obliterate Iran's power plants unless it ends a blockade of crucial Strait of Hormuz, which has sent global energy prices soaring. All right, what to know? Postpones energy attacks. President Donald Trump said this morning he was postponing any strikes against Iran's power plants for 5 days, citing what he said were productive conversations with Tehran to end the war. Market surge and oil prices drop on the news. But hey, of course, Esau is a sly, cunning man. All right. Of course, he says, you got Trump saying that right there, right? To postpone energy attacks. But hey, you know how this devil moves. All right. Esau is a liar, basically. Esau is that serpent. All right. More speaking. See, and what Esau is doing right now, right? He's basically trying to look like the nice guy. Basically trying to look like he's trying to stop everything, but really, all right, he's about to really wage war, all right, on you Americans at the end of the day. But it says, Psalms 55:21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they drawn swords. Of course, you look at that over there, all right, on the news. Trump says he's postponing attacks on Iran power plants. So basically, all right, they're about to strike Iran's power plants. Their power infrastructure. All right. And now you go over here on some other news. All right, that's not really on the mainstream media, but hey, this is real. All right, really, the elites are about to pull this off. All right, they're about to blame the cyber attack on, other countries like China, like Slovakia, like China or Iran. Well, yeah, of course they're gonna do that. But it says Iran to President Trump, you stuck our hospitals. We did not do the same. You struck our emergency centers. We did not do the same. You struck our schools. We did not do the same. But if you strike electricity, we will strike electricity. And you go into Grok. Grok is AI. How do you call it? An AI website. Basically, fact checks information. All right. And it says right here. Yes, confirmed. The IRGC issued an official statement today with that exact wording addressing Trump's threats to strike Iranian power infrastructure if the Strait of Hormuz isn't reopened. They claim prior restraint on hospital, schools, emergency sites, but vowed hypocrisy on electricity, reported by press, TV, and multiple outlets. And so basically, what Esau's about to do is that, yeah, he probably might strike Iran. All right. All right. Trump basically gave a deadline to Iran, right, to get the Strait of Hormuz open. But hey, the elites are about to cut off the lights here in America. All right. Rumble. Klaus Schwab. And hey, Esau got everything ready. All right, the troops are out there. All right, and it's only going to increase. All right, it's only going to get worse. All right. Now they're about to really start implementing more draconian measures. All right, strict measures. Basically, they're basically setting up checkpoints. All right, but we're in the beginning stages. All right, it hasn't gotten all crazy yet, but it's about to be. And hey, Esau is getting ready to lock America down. All right, because of a energy crisis that's about to kick in. You look at the gas prices; it's up there, $4, $5. And hey, it's about to be way more expensive than that, right? It's about to be over $9, could be over $10. All right. Same thing goes for your groceries. All right, your goods, your everyday goods that comes out of your trucks. Cause hey, even Even truckers are feeling the pain. All right, these companies are feeling the pain, and they know something that shit's about to get worse, and they too are about to raise the prices on your everyday goods, and even on gas too, because hey, everything, once a crisis begins, everything falls on top of each other, one of another, creating a domino effect. All right, if gas gets affected, hey, truckers get affected, everything gets affected significantly. And hey, they could very well, they might not just cut off the lights just yet, but hey, they're good. They could very well, pull off a cyber attack on U.S. banks, all right, to where people are not able to withdraw the cash from the banks. No, once you look in your bank account, all you see is zero. All you see is zero, all right? Or, basically, people can't use their debit cards. People are not going to be able to use their debit cards because of a cyber attack on America's infrastructure, all right? But yeah, I'm gonna play this video. All right, these elites, they got something under the sleeve. And hey, this was this video. All right, well, the World Economic Forum, they sent that video out since 2020 in July 8th. All right, which is about 6 years ago. All right, but it says Klaus Schwab predicted a major cyber attack since there, didn't work.
Transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
So yeah, and I was looking at this, all right, not too long ago. You look at the news, it's not too long ago, but it says President Trump said on his social media post Saturday that the U.S. will hit and obliterate Iranian power plants if the Strait of Hormuz is not open within 48 hours. Of course, he extended that, Slovakia, I forgot the word, that deadline, all right, but they're eventually, when he saw he's going to pull off some shit, says the largest power plant in Iran is thought to be the Manavan located in the Tehran. Iran has effectively blocked the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway off Iran's southern coast that normally handles about 20% of global oil consumption since the start of the war. The U.S. will hit and obliterate Iranian power plants, all right? The Strait of Hormuz is not open within 48 hours. And I searched this up on Google, and I was watching one of the elders' page, all right. Basically, an insight. Everybody would. Change. affect the cost of food. All right. Hyperinflation is also going to hit your grocery bills too, because there is a domino effect. All right. Truckers are getting affected. All right. These companies are getting affected, so they're gonna have no choice but to raise the prices on you consumers. And hey, that's exactly the time that we're coming into Jacob's trouble. All right. Time like no other. Jeremiah 30 and 5. For thus the Lord we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. And that's right. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. All right. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great. Salakia. Says, I see now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. And hey, we're coming into a time of Jacob's trouble. All right. These men out here, these people out here that have no clue what's going on. Even the toughest niggas on the block. All right. Even the realize that we're coming into a time of Jacob's trouble, a time like no other. It says, verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And hey, these people, they're going to be scared in that time, all right? Especially our people, all right, because they didn't take heed unto this word, all right? They were scoffing and mocking the prophets, misused the prophets, all right? And hey, even, these men out here, all right, these males out here, they're going to be afraid in that time because, well, they don't have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? But yeah, this is the time that we're coming into, a time of Jacob's trouble, a time like no other before, all right? And for decades already, all right, the apostles and others, great millstone, have been, giving this warning unto our people, all right, telling them to get right, all right, for many decades, all right, that, hey, these perilous times will come in our lifetime. And hey, the apostles and those of great millstone are out there, still prophesying this word, all right. Proverbs 1:20, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the street, she crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates, in the city, she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delay in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. And it's these people out here, all right? They're rejecting the word of the Lord, all right? They're basically ignoring the apostles and others, great millstone, and the prophets, the hopeful elect. They're out there in the highways and byways, giving warning, giving this word unto the house of Israel. All right, says 23, turn you at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and will make known my words unto you, because I have called and you refuse. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have said a no at all my counsel, with none of my reproof. I also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And here, these people, right, they have said no to the Lord's counsel, because the Lord, all right, he speaks through his prophets, his servants, the prophets, all right. All right, the Lord revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets, and this is this word right here, right, this truth, right, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We understand why that these people are about to be destroyed, basically, all right. And at the end of the day, it's judgment from the Lord, all right. Scriptures tell you that shall there be evil in the city and the Lord hath not done it? And even in the scriptures it tells you that the Lord, all right, he sent 2 bears, all right, to rip apart little children. The Lord sent 2 bears to rip apart little children because they were mocking and making fun of one of the Lord's chosen. All right, so it clearly shows that the Lord is not a respecter of persons. All right, the Lord don't care if you're a man, child, woman, right, an elderly, of old age. All right, if you're not one of the elect, you're basically through. But it says Amos 3:6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it? And that's right. The Lord is the one that's doing the judging. All right, it tells you in the scriptures that the Lord created spirits, creative spirits created for vengeance, to appease the wrath of him that made them. All right. When your fear cometh, it says, well, ye have said no at all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For they that hated knowledge did not choose the fear of the Lord. They were none of my counsel. They were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. And hey, that's 2/3 of our people right now. All right. They heard this word. They heard the warnings. Right. Starting from the apostle and others of Grand Millstone have been prophesying this word. All right, these people, all right, they already know who they are. They know that they're the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of, but what? They continue to do wickedness. All right. They heard the warnings. But what? For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. And that's the problem with our people. And that's why they have to die. Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have no understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. And our people are stupid. Our people are sottish children. They are stupid. All right, they're rebellious as fuck. All right. They want to continue praying to Cesare Borgia, so-called white man. All right. They want to worship these false gods. All right. They want to continue eating pork and all these defiled things that you shouldn't be eating. And the Lord hey but says that when none of my counsel they despise on my reproof, therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the turning of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from the fear of evil. And that's right, those are those who are under Psalms 91. Alright? Says, I'm going to read it again, but whoso heareth, but who to be at ease, to be at peace, rest, securely, be quiet. Basically, the elect are going to be protected in a time of Jacob's trouble. Alright? As for these people, they are through. Alright? He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of Almighty, and that secret place of the Most High, alright, is His word. Alright, taking heed unto His word. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power, and Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noise and pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His shoe shall be thy shield and buckler. And yeah, this word is basically His wisdom, knowledge, and understanding will be the stability of our times. All right, this is where our faith is in. All right, faith is in Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that fly by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. And that's right. No evil is going to touch the Lord's elect. All right. In the time of Jacob's trouble, it tells you that, I'm going to bring it out. Hey, the elect are going to eat. Right? When these people are starving, right, the elect are going to be eating. Right? Isaiah 65:13. Therefore thus saith the Lord, power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. And yeah, the hopeful elect are going to be taken care of in the time of Jacob's trouble. Alright? That's why it also says 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. And these people are basically going to perish. All right, martial law is right around the corner. All right, they have the authority to gun down civilians now. All right, during a time crisis, and when shit gets really, really nasty out here, all right, yeah, these troops are going to see people go very violent because they're going to be hungry in the town that we're coming into. All right, their money is going to lose value. They're going to realize that all what they had been saving up was all for nothing. All right, groceries are even a single item at the grocery store is going to cost you a fortune. These people are about to go nuts. All right, these people have no damn clue what the hell is about to happen. All right, but during that time, all right, when they see that America has no point in return, all right, these people are going to be breaching into each other's homes, raiding each other's homes because of the lack of bread, all right, and because of the pride All right, these cities shall be spoiled. You know, these people are basically going to get destroyed in the time of Jacob's trouble. Plain and simple, they're all going to die. Right? It says, verse 8, only with thine eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. See? For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up there in their hands, lest thou shalt dash thy foot against a stone. And yeah, you know, the Lord's angels are right there watching over us. All right? They have our backs. All right? But hey, you know, we got this word. All right? We have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right? These people are going to be bugging out, but the elect are not going to be bugging out. All right? The Lord is our covering. All right? But hey, you know, prepare to see, prepare to hear on the news, cyber attacks. All right? Emergency alert system, you know, nationwide emergency alert. All right, martial law being declared because of, you know, this energy crisis that's about to pop off. Higher gas prices, hyperinflation, you name it. Empty store shelves, businesses closing down, no work for America, concentration camps, FEMA camps, or however you call it, detention centers. And hey, checkpoints, all right? It tells you in the scriptures that the man shall go into a city and shall not be able. All right, so Esau is about to set up checkpoints. All right, because it's going to get that chaotic out here. All right, and these elites, they know that the time is almost up. All right, that's why they're moving fast right now with their agenda. All right, because they see, they know that the Lord is about to return. All right, they know who the prophets are. They know the scriptures too. All right, they've been watching the men of the Lord. All right, and ultimately they don't want this word to go out. So, you know, eventually they're gonna have to cut off the internet. All right, and yeah, you know, it's really over for these elites. All right, because once Esau makes his move, hey, really, at the end of the day, you know, it's the Lord making his move, right? The Lord is about to throw a monkey wrench in Esau's agenda, right? Before that happens, right, you know, the Lord is going to put the spirit on Esau to start implementing the RFID microchip, because that's what's going to happen at the end of the day, right? A new system, a new way of buying and selling. All right, the mark of the beast is about to be implemented. All right, that digital implant, the new payment system that's about to be implemented. The infrastructure is all ready for that. All right. But with that, hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai, and Shalom.